What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 2016 career mode, episode number 17 today for season 2 at the Japanese Grand Prix. If you missed the last episode, episode number 16 at the Malaysian Grand Prix, then do please go check it out, obviously, because I'm spreading these out a little bit. But I did surprise you guys with a third career mode episode of the week last week on Saturday, so you may have missed the Malaysian Grand Prix, not expecting one on Saturday. So be sure to go check that out, episode number 16 today. But we're here at episode number 17, the Japanese Grand Prix. You can see here in practice, trying to do the job once more. We're getting pretty close to enough points actually for potentially another upgrade by the end of this episode actually, so still pushing on. A lot of you guys kind of debating in the comments of last episode whether it should be a downforce or an engine upgrade. I think I'm probably swinging more towards a downforce upgrade, looking back at how we performed in Malaysia against the likes of the Mercedes car in that second sector in Malaysia. And here at Japan, we'll see if the car stacks up here. Again, another high-speed circuit, and obviously in real life, a very, very poor Grand Prix for McLaren, but obviously this is definitely not the same as the McLaren in real life. This McLaren is a little bit naughty in the corners and in a straight line these days, so we'll see what we can do. We barrel into turn 1 for our first and only flying lap here. You can see we've actually left a little bit late, but very, very overcast here at Suzuka, so I'm wondering if this could play into our hands actually, because a few times in Malaysia the sun was out here, and I think it kind of hindered us a little bit, so no kind of sun glare to kind of block us off in the braking zones, and a bit of a kind of dark cloud. And so as we come across the line, it is going to be a purple lap time, and I thought surely this would have gotten beaten by now, by the end of the session, but we actually come through for our second flying lap. We're still in P1 by our second flying lap. Bottas at the moment in P2, but we get blocked off here by Sebastian Vettel, who looks like he's on a slow out lap or an in lap, and so we abandon the lap actually, unfortunately, but it doesn't actually matter, because by the end of it, look at that. It's a 1-2 for McLaren Honda. Get in there, mate. Get in there. So it's pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. I believe our only second pole of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the last time we got a pole position was at Monaco. So it's a 1-2 for McLaren. You couldn't get better at that. At the home of Honda, the Japanese Grand Prix, we are really going to make the sponsors happy today. A 1-2 for McLaren qualifying. Let's see if we can convert it into a 1-2 for the race. Bottas in third place there. Mercedes a little bit down the order. So let's go to the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. So taking a look at the strategy ahead of the formation lap, you can see the engineers either recommending a 3 or a 4 stop today. We're going to go with the 3 stop because I think the 4 stop is a bit overkill with 3 sets of soft tyres, but I have customized the 3 stop to my liking. I've moved the soft set that was originally going to be the second stint as default right to the end of the Grand Prix. I want to be the fastest on track right at the end on soft tyres, and so I've put the hard tyre as the very first pit stop. Get that hard tyre out of the way. It's a very durable one. For what I remember of last season, it was a pretty decent tyre in terms of actual feeling, you know, straight out of the box. So I put that as the second kind of stint and the first pit stop because I think that'll be good to get that out of the way. Then go to mediums and progressively just get softer and softer basically till the final pit stop. But I think that's going to be the best way to go forward and make the most of this pole position. It's a 1-2 for McLaren at the moment on the front row, so I need to try and make the most of it, get out of Jensen's way and not bog him down so we can hopefully try and convert this to a 1-2 finish. But yeah, very odd feeling being here in P1. It hasn't happened a lot. I think the last time was Monaco this season, so we'll see how it goes as we go towards 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix. From pole position, we're underway. The 5 red lights are out, and we've got a pretty damn awesome start. Probably the best start I could have hoped for from pole position, from P1 down to turn 1 we go. You can see Button and the Mercedes nowhere near me actually. We've got a really good brake zone into turn 1, and you can see on the exit of the corner Hamilton has squeezed out Jensen for P2, so he's down to P3. We're looking pretty good right now at the moment for first place in the Japanese Grand Prix, but we move on later on into lap 1 into this spoon section. You can see Hamilton right on our tail. We go wide onto the curbing actually and take a really wide line on the exit. You can see Hamilton takes a nice tight one. He gets right up our gearbox here. He's on the right-hand side. We're on the left at the moment. We're going to move towards the right-hand side of the circuit. Button's going to come up on the left-hand side of Hamilton there in the slipstream of me. We're going to block off Hamilton into 130R. We go, and Jensen's gone around the outside of Hamilton into 130R. We've broken really early to let Jensen through here to block off Hamilton a little bit. Play this tactically because I think I can overtake Button on strategy and on some pace, but I don't think Hamilton was going to give up that place very, very easily. So we played that a little bit tactically there, blocked him off to try and help Button there. He comes through on the down the inside, maybe has a look there on the straight, but into the braking zone he gives up there even before the braking zone starts into turn 1. So he comfortably just stay in P2, and now we're right up still, as I mentioned, right up the back of Jensen Button once again into turn 1. So I feel like I do have the pace to try and re-overtake Jensen at some point in this Grand Prix. Might not be right now because on lap 3 Jensen is getting away from us a little bit, but I think strategically we can. But there's now a safety car. Okay, so this might throw things up in the air a little bit now, because I thought we could have just overtaken him on some undercut, but now this is really throwing things up into the works. Jensen has now pit on lap 4 under the safety car. We've decided to continue on. Hamilton has also come into the pits. You can see we randomly ghost there as well, but Rosberg has decided to stay out, and as well as Raikkonen. So I feel like probably Vettel has also pit. So the kind of other teammates, Vettel, Hamilton, and obviously Button, have all pit under the safety car, trying to get a free pit stop effectively, but I think I can stretch these soft tyres out quite a bit here and use this safety car to my advantage to perhaps even do a 2-stop here at the Japanese Grand Prix. We'll see about that, but we're getting underway for the restart of the safety car. Obviously, I'm the first in the train, so it's my job to back up the cars. We obviously got a limiter on the speed at the moment, but once it goes green, we can just put the hammer down, put the throttle down, and try and get away from Rosberg, hoping to get the car lined up. We can now go. It's gone green. Slam down the throttle there through the final corner, and it looks like Rosberg's not getting the best exit. He actually goes to the pits. Grosjean continues on with me, though, as well as Magnussen. I think that is on the top left as well. But as we move on to what will be 4 laps later, as we cross the line for what will be lap 10, you can see Jensen now is in P2 once more in the top left. So he's on those fresh set of soft tyres since the safety car restart, so he's done the work, overtaking the likes of Grosjean, Magnussen, Bottas as well on the medium tyres. All 3 of those guys that I mentioned have been on the medium since the start of the Grand Prix, but it looks pretty good for the likes of Bottas, Grosjean, potentially even Magnussen. They're looking very, very good. They're probably still in the top 5 or top 6 at least, with the likes of Hamilton and Vettel also pitting, but it looks like Button has been the only one yet to capitalise on his fresh set of tyres, unlike Hamilton and Vettel, who I have no idea where they really are in the pecking order. But Jensen has managed to come back in P2, and you can see at the same time on the bottom right, our tyres are very, very worn. We've taken them since the start of the Grand Prix, including a qualifying lap day we did on Saturday. You can see losing the back end there on the exit as we come towards the tricky hairpin. So it's definitely time to come in for our very first pit stop, and I think we've done enough. I think we've stretched these out enough to try and make this 2-stop work. So we'll go on to the hard tyres, and then, well, we'll see, hopefully stretching these tyres all the way till our final pit stop, which could either be a medium set or even another set of softs. We'll have to see really how well these hard tyres hold up, but I felt like in practice and from last season, the hard tyres were a pretty damn decent tyre here around Japan. Usually a quite horrible tyre on other circuits, but at Japan the hard tyres actually work quite well due to the nature of the high-speed corners here at Japan. But we move out just behind Nico Rosberg here. You remember he pit with us, so he's effectively got an undercut here by pitting a little bit earlier because he pit on the exit of the safety car period, wasn't it? So Rosberg on the hard tyre as well, so same tyre, but I'm on fresher hard tyres. So he's made the undercut work, but I'm going to have better pace than Rosberg, and we are looking a bit faster than the Mercedes team here at Japan, thankfully. So here, we come through 130R, didn't quite be able to get enough slipstream to make a move. Alton to the last chicane, you can see we made a little slight movement down the inside, but thought better of it. So we just kind of showed Rosberg we're there in the mirrors, sort of like a lot of the drivers did in Mexico in the real-life Grand Prix just gone in on the weekend. But now we're in the DRS and slipstream of the German. Can we make a move? We move around inside the circuit. Jensen comes out the pits there, so he's made his second pit stop of the Grand Prix on lap 12. We go into turn 1, very, very easy move, back up into P1. Solid job there. And Button in 3rd place, so he's made his second pit stop onto the hard tyres. So far, Button has basically made the standard strategy that the engineers were recommending me at the start of the Grand Prix. Soft, and then hard. So Button is into P2 now as Rosberg starting to fall behind a little bit. You can see poor exit on the exit of the last corner on towards lap 15. A few laps later now since we made that move with Rosberg. And now here comes Jensen with some good pace. Fresher hard tyres than me, remember, with DRS. But crucially, he goes wide and too deep into turn 1. We easily swing back down the inside, and we've got back into first place. We've been absolutely crushing the AI into turn 1. The braking and the engine braking we managed to get into turn 1 has been absolutely phenomenal compared to the AI. Really a place where you can gain quite a lot of time here at Japan on the AI. But speaking about that though, at the end of the back straight, we can see Grosjean now. Romain Grosjean going for a move potentially for P1 this Grand Prix. He's fighting both McLarens here. What on earth is happening here? The Haas car has really come alive here at the Japanese Grand Prix in pretty much the second half of the season here. But as we come through the final corner, a little bit of grass on our right-hand side tyre on the exit, and more grass now after a little bit of a tank slapper on the exit. You can see Grosjean has come into the pits now, so he's made a bit of an earlier pit stop than me and Jensen respectively. So we'll see how he goes, but he's looking pretty damn good, as well as Bottas behind us, who's now moved up to third as Jensen moves up to second behind me. But we're looking good for now to keep Jensen at bay. But saying that, onto lap 17. Through Spoon on the exit, you can see Jensen getting again a superior traction zone there on the exit of Spoon. He's going to come up on the left hand side. We're going to go side by side into 130R. This is going to be brave stuff for both of us. We go side by side. Oh, look how close that is awesome to see. Great respect between teammates there. So close, but through on the exit of the chicane once again. I know Jensen's going to get a better exit, so we have to try and squeeze him. We made contact there, and so that is a little bit controversial between me and Jensen. So contrasting what just happened at 130R, being a little bit cheeky there. Touched Jensen a little bit, but he's fine. He's still making a move for P1. He goes into P1, but he's outbroken himself a little bit. He leaves the room open on the apex of the corner. We slide it down the inside. He's made contact with Bottas. He spun Bottas round, or Massa, whoever it was, a Williams car. And Jensen has caused a bit of an incident there on the exit. He's probably got flustered after we overtook him and probably didn't know what was going on behind him. So he spun a Williams round, but he left the door open. He left the space there. Just cheekily nipped it down the inside to retake first place. But again, on lap 20, he's not backing down here. So this is brilliant racing between the two teammates here, the two McLarens. This is finally what I've wanted for so long. Just us two battling for first place finally. And Jensen once again tries but fails into turn 1. A place where I just mentioned I've been so superior against the AI. It's just a place where they're just not very good into the braking zone because they don't like to engine brake very much, the AI cars. But now we're coming to the pits, and Jensen's coming to the pits as well. Oh no, that is controversial again. That is not what I wanted. I wanted to not leave the place to Jensen. You know, I let Jensen go through at the beginning of the Grand Prix to tactically get away from the Mercedes, both of us. And now we're having a fair fight. But now I've sort of hindered Jensen. But that's not my fault. I am the lead car. I do have priority on the pit stop. And I've come in. And Jensen, his engineer, hasn't told him about it. And he's come in at the same time. So that is quite a shame, actually. That is a lot. That's probably going to hinder Jensen quite a lot, actually, honestly. So, that's a bit awkward. That's a little bit awkward. But, you know, we have to move on. These things happen sometimes in racing. So we move on now. Trying to overtake Romain Grosjean, who's out in first place in the Japanese Grand Prix. I repeat, Romain Grosjean was out in first place of the Japanese Grand Prix, where we stick it down the inside through 130R. It actually looks like an easier move than it probably was, actually, just because the Haas car doesn't have the downforce to cope in 130R compared to me going down the inside there on a very tight angle. But saying that, though, the Haas car is pretty damn good at traction and in a straight line. So here comes Grosjean coming back at me down the pit straight as we go on to lap 23. Down the inside, Romain Grosjean goes, but he goes wide, he goes too deep, he comes back on track. We've made contact on the left front tire. We banged tyres just like Rosberg and Verstappen did at the Mexican Grand Prix on lap 1. And that was very, very close there. Lucky that Grosjean or me did not kind of rebound because of the physics of the game into a barrier or onto the grass. So very, very close stuff there. But Grosjean yet again going wide, just like Jensen did there. So the AI making quite a lot of mistakes into turn 1 there. I just let them go into turn 1. I brake actually a lot earlier than I usually do in qualifying, and they just go steaming into the corner. Way too much momentum. They go so wide, and so I can easily pick them off down the inside and do the switchback line. But you can see at the moment, Daniel Ricciardo's in P2 at the moment. I think Grosjean's made an extra pit stop. So as we move on to lap 26, at the moment, it's myself, then Ricciardo right behind me, and then Kevin Magnussen in the Renault at the moment on a podium position in P3. But here comes Ricciardo. 2 laps to go, or 1.5 really, as we go down towards 130R. Ricciardo is going to make a move down the inside here. Is it going to be? It's going to be so close. Oh, look at that. He was inches away from his front wing tapping my left rear tyre. That was as close as you want, Daniel. That was very, very close. Very audacious of Ricciardo there. He's going to try it through the final corner, but we just managed to keep the line there. Ricciardo doesn't have enough momentum, but then he'll come back at us with DRS as we go on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Will Ricciardo make it around the outside? He tries his best, but we managed to outbrake him there. Just keep the inside line as the sun starts to come out here in Suzuka, and it looks like we're just about going to keep this first place, but it's going to be myself, then Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen. Looks like he's going to be good for P3 as Jensen pits again on the last lap of the Grand Prix, so he's had a calamity of a race, Jensen, ever since our little tangle and pit stop calamity, but we come through across the line. It's going to be P1, baby, for the Japanese Grand Prix. Get in there, man. Ricciardo, second place. Good move, sir. Good move. Good try on the second last lap. That was very, very close into 130R, and that was a lot of fun. That was a fun Grand Prix. The battle with Jensen, battling with Grosjean as well. It was nice to see the Haas car right up there. Unfortunately, he had to make an extra pit stop. And Kevin Magnussen in P3. What a drive for him, son. What a drive in P3 on the podium there for Renault F1, and Rosberg doing a very poor job. And you could see, remember from last episode, Rosberg's not even second in the championship anymore. It's Ricciardo. So really, we've done the job on Ricciardo today, not Rosberg or Hamilton anymore. We're all kind of focusing on Ricciardo because he's the nearest one to me in the championship, and we've done the job. We got 7 more points than him today at Suzuka, and so we have fully deserved the champagne here at the Japanese Grand Prix. So, we have moved that much closer to potentially winning the World Drivers' Championship. You can see we've got quite a sizable gap. And by my calculations, if we win the next Grand Prix and Ricciardo is a little bit down the order, we could win the championship. I don't know if one of you guys, there's usually one kind of clever person that works out all the permutations, but I believe by the next episode we could be crowned the champion, so we'll see about that. But at the moment we're looking pretty damn good for it. And in constructors as well, we've gained a little bit. Unfortunate Jensen, really, I'm just stuck on that. Really, really unfortunate that we had to have a tangle like that with the pit stop, because otherwise I really thought it could have been maybe a 1-2 for Mclaren, or at least a 1-3 or 2 McLarens on the podium in some sort of order in today's Japanese Grand Prix. But you know, those things happen. You can't... A bit of miscommunication there. That happens with the AI all the time. So it had to happen at some point with me and my teammates. So a little bit unfortunate there, but a thoroughly enjoyable Grand Prix. That was some awesome racing there, especially with Jensen and then Ricciardo at the end. So guys, if you have enjoyed that episode, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you enjoyed your day, and I'll see you guys next time.